Welcome back to another episode of the PG Talk, everybody. Before we get started and into the episode, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the like button if you're liking our content, and turn on bell notifications so you know when we post.
So today we have a special guest. Every guest is special, but this one's a little more special than the other ones. He is a returning guest. You may know him from his previous episode. His name is Ben. He runs a shop in Indy. He recently got a mentor, which in the podcast, we talk about the value that has brought to him. And we also touch on just how to get your foot in the door, whether it be in a business you already have or something you're trying to venture out to. So without further ado, please watch the rest of the episode and enjoy our guest.
Yeah, I'm glad that a lot of things are going on right now. That's why I was like, I'm glad that this is like a perfect time for you to like ask me to be on the podcast.
Shit.
So I was like, this is perfect.
Well, shoot, where do we start? Because I know, last time you were on here, it was a couple months ago.
It was over the summer.
Yeah. So when was that?
No, it wasn't. No, it was during school still.
It was during school.
It was in the springtime.
Dang, so I wasn't even in the summer. That was like my busiest time.
Yeah, because I remember coming from school to Wedo's place and like taking out my book bag and setting up and all that stuff.
That was like May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was a while.
So since last time you were here, May till now, what the fuck's been going on, man?
Dude. All right. So, I mean, the summer's my busy season. So, like, I had a bunch of different events. Like, I would get into, like, for example, like, I hired all my people in June. So then I actually have some established people now who I can like leave the shop for a couple hours a day now. So I'm probably out of the shop 10 hours out of the week now. And I was like, just like going to Starbucks, working for like 2 hours just to get some like time to actually work.
Right.
So that's been cool. And so like getting reliable people, getting like building relationships is cool. And then also I've been set up at like farmers markets, and I got this gig at the soccer fields to where I'm set up every single weekend selling teas and protein bites. And so that's been sick. So it's like, it's cool on Saturdays because I'm at like 3 places. And so it's like I got a shop, the farmers market, and then the soccer field. So that's pretty dope to be like, dang, I got like a whole team, it's pretty cool. And it's like, I have awesome people that are willing to help me, which is cool. So that's been adjustment of like, hey, are we going to make it? Like last year, are we going to make it? Waking up with $1 in my bank account 3 months in of like, oh shit. Like, I don't know if we're going to make it this winter, to now it's like, we're going to be killing it. Like, and so it's like, we're going to be here for a long run. And so like that different mindset of like, rather than trying to just survive, now we're trying to thrive, right? And so it's like,
I bet that like probably lit a bigger fire inside of you to like even do even more.
Yeah, so like I've been coming up with a lot of new ideas of like what I try to do, like if I come up with an idea, I literally ask everybody, I'm like, what's wrong with this? Like, try to poke a hole in it. I want you to shit on it. Like, I want find a way that like this isn't going to work. Right. For example, like right now I'm going to start a tea subscription to where I'm buying a tumbler, like giving them a Live Healthy Be Happy tumbler cup. And every time you bring in that cup, you don't even pay for the tea. So you'll pay like $20 for the month. And every time you come in, you don't pay anything. I just fill up your tea, right?
Oh.
Now, if you want boba, hey, that's going to be at cost. If you want a little vitamin and caffeine blend, it's going to be at cost. Right.
But if you just want the standard tea, they can just roll in with the cup that they paid for, like the subscription cup. And hey, man, here you go. You fill it up and walk out.
Free advertising. People are seeing, going walking around because we have the Live Healthy, Be Happy stickers on them. And they're color changing. So whatever tea you get, it's going to be a different color cup every day. And they're like, oh, dang, that's dope. And then it's, they put in their credit card and everything. It's just like a normal subscription.
Yeah.
How many subscriptions do you forget to cancel?
Bro, I have like 5.
You know what I'm saying?
Cancel right
but
now.
I don't think people will forget, but like they'll remember I'm there, right? And so they'll always come back. And so I also started these hot donuts, and they're made to order. No one wants a cold ass donut, right? And it's like, they're okay, but it's like to get a hot mini donuts.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the thing. You're coming in, you're thinking, oh, I'm not paying for the tea, even though they already paid for it, maybe 15 days earlier. I'll take some donuts. I'm a little hungry. I'll take a smoothie. Dude, but rather than people come in, because I know, like I look at my numbers all the time, people come into my shop about, the average customer comes in twice a week. That's going to go from 2 to 4. And so it's like now we're getting a better relationship. They're going to tell more people about us.
Right.
They have the cup walking around. Oh, yeah, you check out that hot donut place? Dude, that Panda Donuts on 86 freaking kills it. They have donuts and boba tea.
Yeah.
That's who I am. Like that. And so it's like that's who I'm going to like turn into, except they're good for you. Right.
Right.
And so it's like it all works together. It's like, and so implementing that, 1995, free tea. It's like, dude, 70 cents a day. You can get as much tea as you want. Like, who the hell? It's like almost making an offer like they need to feel stupid for saying no. And so like, if you still follow Hormozy at all, like that's why I've picked up from now. I'm just listening to his book, Repeat.
Do you know who that is? Alex Hormozy?
No.
He was on Graham Stephan's podcast a while ago, but he's that one guy I told you to watch.
Yeah, I haven't watched.
Bro, just watch like 10 minutes of it. It's real good. He talks a lot. He talks a lot about like philosophy and like ways of thinking, and his way of thinking, I think, is like, I agree with like 80% of the stuff or 90% of the stuff that he says.
Except for the stuff he says about women.
All right, he's not Andrew Tate. He's not. He's not that.
I don't know.
Alex
Andrew Tate got canceled.
Hormozy?
I agree with most of it. No, I'm playing.
You like all of it.
Totally joking. But
yeah. So Alex Hormozy.
Yeah. So him and his wife, so he wrote this book called $100 Million Offers, and what it is, it's literally a framework of how to make a Grand Slam offer. To where his biggest thing is, hey, make it like that saying I just said, make them feel. The offer has to be so good that they feel stupid to say no
for not taking that offer.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, you're not trying to sell. Like it's like, if you sound desperate, you're trying to like always like so. There's
like if you're being too pushy, their immediate response is push you back and be like, nah, I don't want this.
Let the offer sell itself.
Literally, and it's just so good that it's like, oh, why wouldn't I do this? It's both parties winning, and he's like understanding the value you want. Dude, his stuff, I can't explain it. Like I'm still just trying to like learn it. I just got into the book, maybe a week ago, and I've been listening to him for the past few months, like his podcast and stuff.
Right.
But that's what I'm like, I'm just listening to that book Repeat, because like if you get that in your brain, you're gonna make a shit ton of money. Like you're gonna be crazy successful, and the people you're helping are also gonna get crazy results. It's not, hey, charge a lot. And just so you can make a lot of money. It's so that they can get a lot of value too. Right.
Well, because like you were saying, if you give them that $19.95 subscription for the tea, they come in once a day. They're gonna get their money's worth. But those couple times that they come in, like, you know what, like this thing's already free in their mind, even though they already paid for it previously. Yeah. Let me get donuts now. Let me get this because this is free already. Yes. So I'm gonna get something else.
Yes, and it's also like. It's very easy to come into the winter and be like, oh yeah, this is going to be my slow season. Because it's like, oh yeah, not many people get smoothies. Well, fucking add something, dude. Like what?
Add something for the season.
Yeah, no, that I'm going to have it for good, but it's like, yeah, I need something hot. And so last year I had a lot of ideas that sucked ass. Like I tried oatmeal bowls, tastes like shit. Mm-hmm. Tried hot chocolate, tastes like shit. And it's like hot chocolate? Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, I got rid of it in 3 days. Someone tried it. I was like, how was it? They were like, never saw him again. So, bro, it wasn't good. Like, it just wasn't. Like, you're gonna fall on your face. And like, I fell on my face a lot last year, and I'm sure I will again this year. But it's like, coming up with like, all right, what's a good idea? Donuts. Like, everyone likes a fucking donut. And so, going into like what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a bunch of donuts. And well, they're not hot. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do this. But going around to businesses, hey, you want some free donuts? Sure. Like. Of course, I want free donuts. Like, but so I don't know how to like keep them hot. I could put them I'll figure that out. But anyways, like it's like just handing out that, and it's like so in the winter, it's not a slow season, right?
Right. So you just have people coming in.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, I'm not gonna just fucking sit there and profit $1,000 in a month while working 70 hours. Fuck that.
Right.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, that'd suck ass. Like last year, I wasn't even making money. I was negative.
I remember you talking like. I remember that phase that you were going through.
Bro, there would be a day I worked 12 hours. I lost like $80. Oh my God. Yeah. Like every hour I worked, I was negative $7. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like trash. And so
at one point you debated on literally living in your shop. And like,
I was going to if I could have broke my lease.
You're like, I already do, man.
Like, but it's like now it's like, I don't like, I like the 60 hour. Like I'm working 60 out, like 65. Probably about 75. But I'm not like that tired. Like it's just my natural now. It's been a year and a half. Whenever I was working 100, it's still 25 hours less than what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so it's really not like.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and plus you said you have a good team to rely on, and I feel like that's great because it gives you that extra time to maybe not be as stressed with something that otherwise you'd be so stressed about.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives you time to, like I said, go out to like another place, kind of zone in and do nothing but work without having somebody come in and be like, hey, X, Y, and Z happened. We need your help out here or something, you know?
Yeah. And it's not like, it's hard to get people to, making smoothies is not hard. Making boba teas is not hard. So it's nothing complex. As long as you're good with a customer, as long as you can have a conversation, then we're going to be good. Right. Yeah. And it's like, and the people actually, I'm not an asshole. Like when I'm like, dude, I'm just chill. Like, it's like if something goes wrong at no point, because people react how you will. Like there was one time I have this 15-year-old girl who works there, and for her first job ever, I walk into the shop, there's 12 people in line. You can tell she's like,
she's stressed.
And I just walk in, I'm like, hey, how's it going, everybody? And then I walk behind, I'm like, all right, so what do I need? And just like real calm, and then she calms down. But I'm like, oh my God, what do we need? What do we need? She's gonna freak out, and the next 30 minutes is gonna be hell.
Yeah. Facts.
And so it's like, hey, you walk in, and it's like, this is what's supposed to be happening, right? Don't act surprised whenever you're busy, because it's like, this is gonna happen.
That's what you want.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, that obviously, like, in my mind, I was like, shit, because I was like, how long have these people been in line? I've been gone for an hour. I come back, I don't know what's happening, and so I just come back. I'm like, all right, so whose order needs taken? And then it's just real chill, and it's she calmed down, and then now, like, whenever hopefully she'll remember that years from now, to where it's like, hey, I just have to
just like relax the situation like that.
It's all good. Nothing's that deep. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like you're chill. It's like, it's different if you run a freaking like I don't know. It's a smoothie shop. It's not like, I can't think of another high stress business. You're not in corporate America to where it's like
you're not running Tesla or like trying to go to the moon or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and even then it's like the worst thing that's gonna happen in my day is that we spill a smoothie on the floor. That's $4. That's the worst thing that's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's kind of just, I just try to kind of be laid back. Try to have a balance, kind of. That's like, well, I guess we can get to that. But I recently hired I met with this one guy who's he was in my exact same spot like 5 years ago, and now the dude's just killing it, right? I bought some time with him, and it was just like, I've gotten from him for about 2 hours. Like, he does like one-on-one business coaching. Right. And that's like pretty much what we did. We just went to Starbucks for a couple hours, learned a lot from him. Nice. We're going to have a monthly meeting, and just like for 2 hours. And it's like, I learned a lot from him of just like self-awareness of like me, of like myself, and really kind of like the levels of like, cause like I'll be super intense, or I'll be a fucking cupcake at the shop. Like well, I won't be intense like this at the shop, but if someone only sees me at the gym, they're like, man, that guy works like really fucking hard. But when you're looking at me, you're like, does this guy even work out? Like, probably goes and does the fucking elliptical, right? That's what you know what I'm saying? Like, and so nothing wrong with the elliptical, I guess, but it is like, people walk into the shop, I'm like, people walk in, I'm like, hi, good morning. Like, hey, good morning. Like that, like, hey, good morning. Like, that's literally my voice. That's not exaggeration.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that guy kind of showed me, he was like, well, you're breaking your identity, because that's not actually who you are. Like, and I was like, oh, damn, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm not all the way up here. There's obviously levels, but he's like, your bottom doesn't have to be a cupcake. You can be like, hey, how's it going, man? Hey, good morning, man. How's it going? Like, I can be like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's still just as good as, hey, good morning. What can I get for you?
Right, right. As long as it's true to yourself.
Exactly. And that's what he was kind of showing me. Like, I wasn't being true to my, like, who I am. And that's why, like, whenever, like, people who work for me now, like, if I get up here, which I am, like, a lot of the day, I'm, like, super intense and just not mad.
Does the caffeine have to do anything with it?
It just, if I don't have it, I'm still just like that, really.
Right,
it's
right.
Like,
it's just your natural way of being.
Yeah, I just like drinking the stuff. It doesn't really even do much for me, to be honest. Like, I'm just, like, because I, like, a couple weeks ago, I did, like, no caffeine. I was still the same. So I just had a headache. And, you know.
Nice. Went through the withdrawal, but
literally, and I was, like, felt the same. And so, like, but whenever I would get right up here, people were like, what's the matter? this is just how I live my life. Like, this is literally just who I am. And so then I was like, oh, my identity is not being true. And I was like, that was the biggest thing I learned from that guy.
Okay.
Not even so much about business, just about like self-awareness and why you want what you want and laying out why I want what I want, you know?
Right.
So,
Well, one thing that I like that you've been doing, and I want to get into it, is like your social media stuff, like your reels. Like, I've saved a couple because now you can like them. You can hit that save button, like the bookmark or whatever. I saved a couple, and one that comes to mind a lot that I saw, and honestly, it was kind of like a light switch went off. You said something along lines of like you're battling demons that you're pretending you have, but like or something like that. Where
self-imposed.
Yeah, like self-imposed demons. And I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I do that. You know, I'm like, because I always say like in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, or like I'm putting a lot of stuff on myself, like negative thoughts. And when I dialed it back after watching that video, I was like, that's all me. I'm like, no one tells me that, you know, like no one tells me like you're not doing enough, especially like close family. Like they're all like cheering me on and doing all that stuff. But it was a lot of self-imposed hate and demons. You know, I'm in the gym pretending like I'm going through some shit when I'm not.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like what, like kind of that feeling of like that feeling feels good, and we can't I can't explain why it feels good. Like, you know, just like feeling like you're up against something whenever you're
like you're searching for like redemption, something like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's kind of just like, bro, like I don't know, like why are you doing like?
Because you tend to like start making up fake scenarios in your head, and then
Yeah.
Well, I've always heard that humans need like constant conflict. And when you don't have it, you just kind of tend to be a psychopath and make it yourself.
That makes sense.
Make your own conflict, you know? And a lot of times it's unnecessary. Like in my case, like it was unnecessary.
Bro,
so
look at the world now. Like, look at people who are actually talking about like their problems or whatever. Hey, you misgendered me. Shut the fuck up, dude. You know, you're not, like fucking 200 years ago. Like, dude, people, I don't know how many 100 years ago. They're just trying to survive, dude. You think like you know what I'm saying? Like they're just trying to find food. They're trying to find shelter. Like they're literally like they didn't have shit.
Nah, dude, not anything.
And now we're all real comfortable. You know, you have a home to go to. You can just go to whatever grocery store.
Get whatever you want.
You can order anything on your phone and it'll get there in a day.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about fucking I don't feel validated. You don't fucking have to feel validated. Like no one has to validate your feelings.
Yeah.
Does it feel nice? Yeah. But does anyone owe you this?
No, and that's one thing that I learned when I was in the military, where I think they said like no one owes you shit, and like the only thing that you're promised is death.
Yeah.
You know, and like everything else is like no one has to respect you, no one has to do shit. So like I don't know, it's a different mentality for sure.
Yeah.
Going in from there, and then dude, it was such a struggle coming out of the military into the civilian sector. I am very calm. Like I don't say much at school. I don't say anything because I know what I do say. 90% of people aren't gonna like it, and I'm just not looking for to constantly argue with everybody.
That's like our minds are like we're just trying to find meaning constantly, right? It's like it's and like
people find it in different ways, you know,
and it's exactly in different ways based on what they're thinking. So it's like, hey, if you're like, hey, why do you need to have meaningful work? Why does your work need to be meaningful?
Yeah.
Well, just like should. Why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, well, you know, like my work needs to be meaningful. So it makes me like, so I feel like I have a purpose. Why do you feel like you need to have a purpose? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just going to die, no one will know you in 200 years. No one will know you.
Dude, there's been days where I wake up and like, cause like I work the weekends, right? And I do 3 12-hour shifts. And now with school, I have to wake up like 2.5 hours to 2 hours before I clock in to just do homework.
Yeah.
And I'll do homework before my 12-hour shift, or I'll do the podcast editing, or what I have to do for the podcast, right? Some days I wake up and I'm sitting in front of my computer. I'm like, does any of this shit matter?
It doesn't.
I'm like, at the end of the day, like, I'm working hard for a podcast. I'm working hard to get a degree. I'm working hard just to make money. I'm like, but does any of that matter? And I just sit there. I'm like, I'm not going to work today. I still go, but I'm like, why? I'm just gonna go. I work at a warehouse. I'm just gonna go move boxes. And then while I'm at work, I'm like, this box doesn't fucking matter. Like, and people are getting pissed off for whatever reason. I'm like, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of those like moments to where I'm sitting down like, dude, like none of this actually really doesn't matter. And like I've had deep conversations with myself to where like I'm at the point now where like I can like just say like, I don't really give a crap what anybody says like about me or like about what I'm doing in my life. Like, okay, cool. Like I'm not saying it like, okay, cool, fuck off. I'm just like, cool.
Like that's your opinion.
That's your opinion. I'm not offended. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Like,
yeah.
Because like at the end of the day, like we're literally only here for what 80, maybe 90 years now.
Yeah. Well, supposedly our generation's life expectancy is supposed to be like 100.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bro,
still,
I don't
like-
even want to be 100, dude. All your friends are dead.
Unless
if you're
everyone
100 years old, dude,
Yeah.
you're burying so many people that you love.
Yeah. My wife's
Like that's kind of dark, but like
I mean, you're right. But my wife's she has great aunts and one great aunt, one great uncle. The great uncle is like 101, 102.
Was he at the baby shower?
Yeah, he was there.
he's still getting around.
cow.
Fine.
Not fine.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
damn, dude, I'm very impressed.
But I think within that past couple years, he's gone like on a pretty hard decline.
Yeah.
But his wife isn't 100, but she's like in her 90s, and she's walking around
That's crazy.
doing her thing. You know,
Damn.
she talks a little soft, but she's perfectly fine on her
Damn.
own. Yeah, man, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I've came to terms to where, like I said, like I don't care what anybody says. Like, I mean, obviously, like you're my friend, you're my brother. I'm gonna take into consideration what you say about like what I do and be like, okay, like maybe because I'm not like a dickhead and be like, oh, well, I'm doing whatever I want with my life and it's right. Like, obviously, if I'm a fucking murderer, like that's not good. But like I'll take into consideration of what like my close friends say or like because I know like you, for example, you'll tell me if I'm like doing something fucked up, and same with you.
Yeah.
It's like.
But it's all constructive, you know what I mean?
But like keep people in your circle who are gonna tell you how it is, but at the same time, like live your life. Like it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, it's like I think sometimes people get mixed up on like if you're talking about like the people that you want around you, they'll think of like if I only want people that are like really getting after it. Like if you're at the same spot in a year, I don't fucking care that you said you were just trying. You weren't trying. I don't really want you around me. Does that mean I think you're a piece of shit? Nope. Just means you're not progressing. It's almost, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's like you have to do something for me, I have to do something for you. But it's like, Why? What's wrong with that? Why should I? It's because there's one thing of using somebody, but there's also people that like, if you're not around anybody that inspires you, like, dude, like it's just like,
it's a different feeling, huh?
What?
It's a different feeling to have somebody around you that is inspiring you.
Yeah, it fires you up. And it's like,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, I want to fucking go into work and listen. Yeah, man, I watched Netflix for 5 hours. Oh, dude, no way, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Fucking Cheeto fingers, fucking out of here. Like, you know,
the last time we had you on, I went home and this one I still lived in Avon.
I ate Cheetos.
No, I went on a run. Just because I was so fired up
Dude,
after talking with him.
Oh, that's nice.
Sometimes low key, like after watching your stories that you put up or like your Instagram reels, I'll be like, oh fuck, bro, and I'll go do something, whether it be like physical where I'm like getting a sweat in, or I'm like, all right, dude, I got to get off whatever I'm doing and like get to work.
That's
podcasts or stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I always
awesome.
get fired up after.
Well, last night that happened to me. I was this guy named Cameron Haynes. He's on Joe Rogan sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, dude, he freaking had something. He posted a reel just fucking getting after it, and I was like, I used my neck as an excuse last night of like not doing anything. I said, "You bitch, fucking go out there. No one gives a shit about your neck.
Like go do something.
Like no one cares about your neck. Like just go out and do something." And so then I was like, literally all I did, I just went outside. I actually just went on a long ass walk, and that sounds like it's like, oh well, like I mean, I already had fucking my legs been sore for 4 days. I did this pyramid thing from 30 all the way down to 1. So I did with air squats and push-ups, like 30 air squats, 1 push-up, 29 air squats, 2 push-ups. So it's 465 air squats and push-ups.
Nice.
In fucking 49 minutes or something. My legs are still sore. It's been like 4 days.
Yeah.
And then I went on 2 runs back to back, and I was like, all right, maybe tonight I'll just go on a walk. And so like it doesn't seem like anything, but it's still, I check that box of still just, I rarely just go on a walk.
Yeah.
But it was just like, dude, I'm fucking fucked up right now. Like,
yeah. Well, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy either, you know? Because at the end of the day, you moving and walking is beneficial because now you're getting blood flow into your legs. It's helping the recovery. So then you can go get after it once you get better.
And the chiropractor also said like 2 weeks. He was like, yeah, you're probably trying to work out. I said, fuck that. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna just not do shit for 2 weeks. Like, I'm like, maybe that's why my neck still hurts. I don't know, but it's just like
That's all good. Do you do like any stretches or like
So
apply heat?
kind of makes
or
it
anything?
worse. Like if I do if I do exercises, kind of what I need to do. Well, what kills me is like I work on an iPad all day. Like whenever I'm looking down, I'm just the whole day I'm just looking down, and it's like that's not good. I'm on my phone looking down. So
Is it like right here?
So I can't like turn my head really. Like I can turn like that and then like that.
Oh, okay.
How long has it been like that? A couple days?
A couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
Yeah. So like whenever I'm driving, I have to like turn my I have to like turn my whole body to like just see if anyone's like in my blind spot or something. I'm like, nah, it's fine. It'll go away in a couple weeks. But but anyways, yeah, like that Cameron Haynes guy. Like I saw him, he fired me up, and it's like like it's cool to like have people like that around you. Like that guy that I hired for his business coach. Like he fires me up. Like he fucking is getting after it, and it's I'm not inspired because you lifted twice in a week. Like just because you worked out twice, that might be good for you. That's not doing anything for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get inspired by that. But you may inspire somebody who never works out. Right. So it's like, there's levels.
I was going to say, there's levels to it. It's not just plain out you inspire me or not. There's like some people inspire others because it depends on what you've done. If somebody's doing more than what you've done, obviously you get inspired. But if you're doing something like, I've been there, and somebody's just barely starting, it may inspire you because they're barely starting. Like, oh, cool. It's like a fresh feeling. Yeah. But for the most part, you're not looking up to them.
Yeah. Now, what will inspire me if someone's like 500 pounds and they're working out? That inspires me. Like someone who's like fucking just trash their life, dude. Like and then they start working out. Like that inspires me. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't know why. Man, I should probably like look into this, I guess. But like whenever I see someone that's just like fucking 8, bro, and they're just fat as fuck. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I knew who you were like 10 years ago. Or like
what happened?
Or like, what the fuck happened? Like, I don't know what it is. I have a heart, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is inside, or like, I feel like, dude, you have so much more, and it's like I'm almost mad for them because I'm like, dude, you can do so much more, and you're not doing anything. And that I think that's what it is. I just get so mad because I'm like, dude, I freaking know what you're capable of, but you're not doing anything.
You're not living up to it, man.
No, exactly. Yeah. And it's like a lot of people hate themselves because they don't. Would you say in a relationship if the person you were with was just always lying to you? No. Well, if you're always lying to yourself, of course you fucking hate yourself. Yeah. You don't want to be in the relationship. You hate yourself because you break promises to yourself. Right. So every time you break a promise to yourself, that's a one lie that you lie to yourself. And how about whenever you lie to yourself 87 times in a row?
Yeah, in one day.
Of course you would die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there to where it's just like, I don't want to be here, bro. Like, I don't want to be in this life. Like, I hate myself, right? And so it's like, but changing that of like, no, I'm not going to break promises. And it's not like I don't miss. Like, I miss sometimes, but it's like you don't miss twice. And then it's just like, you can't lose if you never quit.
Yeah.
You just keep showing up. Show up for 25 years. You're going to fucking pass everyone who quits. Like, I mean, who's going to be an entrepreneur for 5-6 years and then, man, this is not for me anymore. Fine, I'll fucking beat you. I don't care. Like, I'm not right. And so it's like, hey, valiant effort, still going to pass you. And it's not about, like, I don't have people in my mind of, like, oh, I need to pass you. But it's like, that's why I ever quit. And it's easy to say. I've only been in it 2 years. Right. So it's easy to say, look at this fucking 24-year-old kid saying he's never going to quit. And it's like, that's cute. It's like, we'll see how time plays out. And that's true. Like, but it's like, if you're aware of that, of like, I could quit, but I just know I'm not going to. Like, it's not ignorance. It's like, no, I just can't. Like, I want to be able to live myself if I just quit. Right. I just couldn't. So.
Yeah. So, are you the smoothie stuff? The shop you run, is that something you're doing long term, or at one point are you like, you know what, I'm content with what I've done here. I'm gonna move on and do something else.
Oh no, it's not long term. Like it's, I guess what's short term, long term. I mean, I guess we have to kind of find that.
Well, okay, so let's say, because I feel like 5-year plans are pretty common. So in 5 years, do you expect to still be running the shop here, or like by then you're starting something new, or you're in it for a couple years?
So this is exactly what I want in my life. This is exactly what I want.
Tell me. Because so far we on this podcast have a good record of when people say something, it happens. Really? We had something with he runs King Culture Media LLC. He went to Houston, learned a bunch, found a mentor down there. He's up in Lafayette. has his own media company, right? He got fired and he's doing his thing, right? He's killing it.
Good.
And he said when he left to Houston, big things were gonna happen, and they're gonna move down there in January. And everything that they said that was gonna happen, of who they're gonna meet, how they're gonna get inspired, like we're gonna come back with new energy. Everything happened to the T that they said.
Well, I mean, 99% of people talk about what they're gonna do. The only thing that why he succeeded was because he actually took action.
Did it. Yeah, he's
just
great.
the
Man.
action.
I fucking love him. Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds like a great dude. Yeah, that's awesome. But like laying out exactly what you want, right? And so like getting clear. And so like I was looking, I was like, how do I want to live my life? Like a genuine question. Get outside the box. Outside of what I'm doing right now, the life I'm living, do I like it? Like, do I want to live this life? What I want 3, because this is probably the shortest. So I want 3 shops that I have right now within a 45-minute radius of each other to where I can visit anyone I want. I have a person I trust at each one that's pretty much running it. I stop in whenever the hell I want, and I'm just like, and it's like we're busy enough to where like, hey, each one's doing, maybe, about 400,000 a year, and so it's like, all right, in that 1.2 million, I take about 20% of that, and so whatever it is, I'm not even working a fucking day, right? And so it's like, actually, if I'm not working there, I'm probably more like probably 10 to 15%. Regardless, you're working 0 hours. And you're making 120,000.
Right.
Passively.
You're just running around, making sure everything's up to standard and everyone's.
That's just something. I find it fun. I just like going in there and having fun. I'm out of it. I just own it. Like I'm out of it.
Right.
Now then, what I would be doing is like showing people what I did, and then like how I hired that guy.
You would be that
guy. Hey, this is my hourly rate. You want to sit down with me? Hey, this is my hourly rate. This is how. If you want to have a conversation with me, you want to be a coach or whatever. This is my hourly rate. And so I just have meetings at fucking Starbucks, dude.
Right.
And then I just hang out whenever I want. I freaking train real hard. Eventually, I want to do some like real long, like hard competitions, like fucking like a
Tough Mudder or like a marathon type thing.
Oh, fuck a marathon, bro. I ain't gonna do a marathon. Like fucking, like fucking a 50-mile race or like an Ironman or some shit like that. Like, dude, if you've done a half marathon, don't brag about it. No one gives a fuck you did a half marathon. Like, it's just 13 miles. Like, sometimes I sound like an asshole. I don't mean to be an asshole, but it's just like that's not like like maybe you're like 58, but it's like if you're in your 20s, bro, a half marathon, it's not that impressive. You know what I'm saying? So I want something that's like I'm like I don't know if I can do this. A 50-mile fucking race, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that. Like I literally just don't know. So I want to, but that takes a lot of time to train for, and I can't really be working 70 hours.
You're really looking like running things like David Goggins and like work up to that because he does like ultra or whatever.
Yeah. Those like 100-mile races.
Yeah, dude. Where it lasts a couple days.
Yeah. So like, but like a 50-miler, I want to start there because then it's like, if I've never done a 50-miler, then I do a 100-miler. Well, let's do a 50-miler first, maybe then Ironman and that stuff. But it's like that takes a lot of training time, and so that's kind of how I want to be able to like be making enough money to where it's like, hey, like I kind of I coach people, and then I also train really fucking hard because I don't care about powerlifting. Like, dude, there's people deadlifting 1,000 squat. Dude, you're never gonna be competitive in it. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm only doing this for my ego. So I'm like silence that ego, and I have to get real angry too. I have to get a mental space. Like whenever I'm lifting, I get like real angry. Never just go in and just like lift. That's cool. But if I'm focused on like squat, deadlift, bench, I just have to get too angry.
Yeah, and if you focus on lifting heavy.
Yeah, it's not, and the caveat to that might be like, well, you don't have to be angry. Well, I do. Like if I'm doing it, I gotta get.
Yeah, I think most people do, especially when you're lifting heavy. Like, what else are you gonna do? Fucking laugh while you lift heavy?
Yeah, some people do. Some fucking.
Those are called psychos, bro.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like those long endurance sports of like being able to do that would be awesome. So I have 3 shops to where I can go visit and build the relationships, and maybe each people like maybe there's 7 or 8 workers each shop, and so I have 25 people that like paying payroll. Like that's dope, and I can like learn their families. I can like pour into them, be able to compensate them well. It'd be awesome, and then have that be able to coach people, show them how like I did it or whatever, and then like after that I don't know, like. But like I've seen, like I've been dicking off for 4 years, I feel like. Like up until like 2 years ago. I feel like I have, like, yeah, I always worked like 40, 50, 60 hours. But I don't really have a plan. Now that I have a plan, dude, 4 years, and now I got a mentor 5 years from now. And I know resources, bro.
Yeah.
And then you start getting some resources. Who the hell knows where you'll be in 5 years? Because I saw where this guy was. He had a brick and mortar. He owned a gym at 24, and I had my brick and mortar at 22, and now I'm 24. And so now I'm already ahead of where he was, but he's killing it now.
And I'm like, you can get that mentorship advice.
Dude, just pay for people's mistakes, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pay for the 5 years that he learned, so that I can be 5 years ahead of him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I don't. It's not about trying to like pass him, but it's like you were in my exact same spot. What did you do wrong?
Yeah, that
what
I
advice?
can learn from.
What advice would you give? And then whenever I'm there, I'll find someone else who's 5 years ahead of me, and then do the same thing, and then do the same thing.
Yeah.
And whenever you're 47, yeah, fuck you, money, dude.
Yeah.
And then it's like you can't like, and everyone says that, right? And it's like, oh, this like naive, like young kid. You gotta try to. I'm like, you don't have to believe me. I'm like, no one believed in me before. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like a lot of the people that say that are people who are older, and they didn't really do anything. Yeah. Maybe they had aspirations and didn't do anything. But generally, they see a young kid trying to get after it. If somebody wants to help, or if they like, even if they don't believe it, or they just like your attitude about it, or just like your drive to do it, they will help. Somebody will help, whether they be younger or older. You know, they'll see what you're doing and they'll be like, dude, like this kid needs some direction in this, and I can offer it. Most people would just be like, hey man, like either I offer this service or yo, this is what I know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I feel like we're leaving you out, bro.
Sorry, I mean we talk all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You guys see each other like literally.
About weekly. Yeah.
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 I just see what I'm saying on the toilet on the Instagram, and then I get up and I gotta go do something.
Okay, so let's jump on the Instagram topic.
Yeah.
So you were posting.
Wait, hold on. Before we do that, did that stop recording?
Yeah, that stopped recording. The computer died.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So there's nothing recording.
No, those are. But
yeah, those are just
the computer died, so your audio stopped recording. But I'm not trying to stress about it.
Okay.
I was pissed off when I saw it turn off. But I don't care anymore.
Oh, so like my.
This is you're doing this doesn't do anything.
Oh, so like.
Well, okay. So are we gonna use those, or are we gonna do this? Because I can just switch mic and we can transfer these. Use this one for both.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So will you be able to pick up my audio from like the video?
So like as soon as that stopped, you're gonna be hearing audio from the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, but you can use this, and then that'll just be like ours, and then
we'll just
if you just hold it here, we can just talk into the mic and call it.
Oh, cool. All right.
So going into the Instagram thing, so you were posting 4 videos a week, and then you met with that one guy. So like, what's the strategy now?
Yeah. So the strategy now it is because I agreed with like what he was saying was if you go through, he's like, dude, your content's good, like on an Instagram, but if you go through your page, like just looking at it, it looks like you're making the same fucking piece of content over and over and over. And I'm like, whenever I come across people's profile like that, I don't follow them. I'm like, fucking do something else. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, damn, because I was doing the tweets, so it looked a little different. So what he was like, dude, you need to like, he's like, you need to social proof this to where it's like people can see it. Like me posting more at the shop, me at the shop, all those kids at the shop Friday night, to where it's like, no, this is my life. Like I'm literally like living this out. I'm not just this guy talking about shit. Yeah, I have my own business, legitimately.
Like actually posting your life instead of just like routine posts.
Posting my life, but we can do the same thing just in different environments. To where it's like, hey, I'm behind the bar, you record, and maybe it's just me not even talking, but I'm like making up a smoothie or something.
And then at the end of it, it's like you put the straw in the smoothie and you hand it to the kid.
Exactly. That could be one. Or like me just like working, hey, me talking to a customer, so you're on the side. So rather than us just recording all on one day, like I'd love for you to be able to like just stop by, maybe like
I can just show up to your shop one day.
Exactly. And it's like you maybe get a lot of footage. And so and then we can just use that because we can use unlimited footage there, you know what I mean? To where it's like, and so that more of maybe me out, like maybe I need to take a video of like me like last night I was on a walk and made an Instagram video. Hey, clip that up, boom, post it as a reel. Like because that's like where a lot of my good stuff comes from, to where it's like it's more of like my personality. Right. So that and still use those videos, maybe just change up the background every once in a while. You know,
it does make sense because when you look at it, it's literally like every single one of your videos is the same exact background.
Yes.
So like changing it up the way he said it, like make it to where some videos are you literally walking around talking instead of just stationary.
Yep.
Or even if it's stationary but it's at your shop, like on your couch.
Yeah.
So like that's a really
and also Twitter. So going heavy on Twitter to where it's like he was like, hey, 6 to 10 tweets a day, 3 videos a week, 3 threads a week. That's what you need to do. And I'm like, okay, so I need to go balls deep on Twitter. And
What's
so
a thread? I don't know much about it.
So a thread is kind of like, all right, so it's like It's like a topic. It's like maybe something that you believe, like, because I only downloaded Twitter maybe 2 weeks ago. I've made like 2 threads, so it's almost like
Well, because
Why-
I know there's a character limit.
So a thread
Twitter.
is like, so you make a tweet and then you just keep replying to your tweet. And it's like, hey, this is why being a victim is this is why being a victim will have you lose in the end. This is why I believe being a victim's wrong.
Right.
Like tweet.
Got it,
Oh,
got it.
this was a thread I had. I said what people told me when I wanted to start my business. Them, blah blah blah. Me, blah blah blah. And then at the bottom, I put explained why I responded the way I did. And so I did that like 4 times. And so it's examples of what people have told me and how I responded. Of like, you're starting a business, you don't like, you've never taken a business class. What do you know about business? I'm like, hey, you're absolutely right. I don't know anything about business. But maybe I'm just so ignorant that I'm like, I just believe I'm going to figure it out. I appreciate your concern, like something like that. And then I explained at the bottom, I was like, see how I didn't react. And I was just like, hey, play it off. You know, it's like,
Right.
like validate them.
Yeah.
Because people want to feel validated. And
Right,
so it's
right.
like, you know, yeah, you stroke that ego to where it's like, dude, can you believe so-and-so did this? Oh, dude, no way. Well, hey, good thing we're not like that, man. Fucking, you validate it, you flip it. Yeah, you know what? Make them feel good, you know? And then it's like, oh, I'm not talking to you anymore. Okay. Like, it's like, if you just always talk shit about people, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
I
Like,
agree.
and it's like, that's still hard. Sometimes it's not like I used to talk shit all the time. Like,
I mean, everybody falls into that trap.
exactly. And then sometimes it's just, and so it's like, if I ever catch myself, I'm like, oh, dude, it's rare, but it still sometimes happens. And it's like the occurrences are becoming less and less, but it's like, yeah, that shit kind of was annoying. Like doing that, just like validating it. And that's also kind of what I learned from that one guy, that I'm learning from. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, because I'm super interested in like social media stuff, because that's kind of like the route I want to take. I'm like looking at getting equipment and stuff, and like the fact that he told you to switch up your content is really cool, because like I can already see so many different ways to make it have the same message come across, but at the same time do it in a different way almost each time, to where it's better, you know, like the production is better. So it's, oh, this guy is putting an effort instead of just sitting down in front of a camera talking, you know, and then uploading it afterwards.
Well, here's also a thing of that hit me in the face. I can't believe I didn't think of it.
Right.
He was like, dude, what is that you want to make content over? I was like, oh, I want to like show like how I'm like growing my brick and mortar business. How many videos do you have of showing your brick and mortar business that you're trying to grow? I was like 2 out of 50. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, oh yeah, like.
But the crazy thing is, like, when it's you doing it, you don't think about it.
No.
But then when you look at somebody else doing it, you're like, oh, I would do it another way.
Yeah.
But then you're not, and all it takes is somebody to be like, okay, but this doesn't make sense. You want to build your brick and mortar, but you don't show it off.
And dude, like,
and then you're like, oh, and then you almost feel dumb.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, why didn't I do that?
if someone had asked me, it was like, what is like one thing that you never want to like forget? Is like always, like I always tell myself, you're not as smart as you think you are. You're not as smart as you think you are. Like, you're just not, and it's not in a negative way. It's just like, dude, the only thing holding you back is your skills. Like,
there's literally always something to learn. Because like if you think you know everything, you're literally not going to go anywhere. I know some people that think like whatever they say is right, and then whatever they're doing is like the right way. It's like, dude, you're literally like,
well, those are literally the worst kind of people.
you know what a red flag is like, dude, this person just didn't freaking understand me. I told them exactly how it was supposed to be done. They didn't understand me.
Yeah.
Maybe
some people learn different ways.
have you thought about it? Maybe it was the way you said it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like the guy listening all the time, Jocko Willink, I think he came up last time. He's like, he genuinely believed, he was like, oh, I just didn't make it clear enough to them. If you explain something once and they didn't get it, bro, when do you get something the first time? And then the second time? Probably not. Maybe the third. Now, if it's something simple to where it's like, let's say, you know, let's use a restaurant, for example, because it's very simple. Hey, you need to put this sauce in this bag. And they're like, oh, I just, my bad. It's like, oh, hey, you know, it's all good. You know, and then just be like, hey, this is why this is important. They mess up again. Hey, you know, hey, Sally, like, maybe I didn't make things clear enough. Is there anything that like I was missing to where it's like, maybe like, do I need to explain anything better? Is it like, what like how I feel like I failed you, and so like how can we improve this so this doesn't happen again? Oh well, like I just wasn't really paying attention. Oh, okay, no worries, Sally. Let's just like, hey, let's really focus in on here. Dude, like maybe not like, but yeah, but it's like that, like in that way, and it's not being a dick. Like it's like, and if you ever yell as a boss, you're a fucking terrible boss. If you ever yell, you're bad.
Yeah, unless like the store's burning down, I think that's the only pass to yell. If you're like yelling at your
literally on fire,
get the fuck out of the building.
Well,
that's a different situation, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, if you're yelling at somebody because they don't understand you, like you're not trying to help them understand because you're not trying to figure out how they understand things.
It's like we all want to say like we're good intention, and it's like if you're really in the best intention of people, you would shut your ego down and be like, how can I best help this person? And even people will say that. Everyone will say that. Why is like so few people doing it? It's like if they get mad, it's just like you're mad that they didn't understand you. Well, it's not about you, bro. It's not about you. And so it's like understanding that. It's just like just trying to find better ways to communicate. Like if you communicate better than anybody, dude, you're gonna freaking be fine. Like you're gonna go like whatever you do, you communicate with people good. And it's not just customer service of like, oh, hey, how may I help you today? That's not, no, it's like literally like strategic communication to where it's like, I'm getting you to come to this conclusion without you realizing I'm trying to get you to come to that conclusion. Right. To where it's like, I'm playing chess while you're playing checkers. Yeah. And I don't need the validation for you to come with the idea. Because if we're worried about the mission, we're worried about moving forward, I don't need the credit. I want the idea. I want the mission to move forward. I want what our goal is to move forward. And I don't need to be that one with the idea. If you need to always take the credit, bro, that's just your ego. And no one wants to fucking hear that. Like, it's one thing to have like a joke, right? But if the joke happens over and over and over, it's like, oh, you literally just want the credit. You just want it. And I think that's just like a big red flag of just like, I don't really want to I want to work with you. Like, you know what I mean? And so, yeah.
Well, reasons like that is why I want to get out of, I guess, like normal jobs. Like, well, one, I don't want to work. I'm not going to work at a warehouse for a long time. I got maybe like a solid year left before I figure something out with this or whatever other avenue I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. But I just don't know how I feel about working in an office for like corporate America. Granted, there probably are some out there that are great, right? But 90% of them, I guarantee you, aren't. There's like this weird office politics thing that happens. And like you see it at like schools or like at anywhere. And I'm like, dude, no. Because then it's just all ego playing. Just ego and slapped on top of ego. Like I saw it a lot in the military. And one thing that they use that I hated, the term is shit rolls downhill. And whenever a leader said that to me, and that's the only reason I was getting my ass chewed. It's because shit rolls downhill because they got yelled at for something from a higher up. So now they're yelling at me because they got yelled at. I'm like, all right, you're just you're just a bad leader. You know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, well, so like you said, you like don't know about the office. Definitely not like warehouse. Like, what is that? Like, what is that like? If you're like perfect, like life, like what would be like? I want my life to look like this.
Well, I'm already working on it, bro. You see it.
Well, no, that's why I'm asking. I figured I don't want to assume, but like I figured it'd be like editing, like exactly like this.
Yeah. So what I want, and I'm looking into getting, just cameras, like quality cameras that aren't too expensive but do well. I want to create, on social media, whether it be just for this podcast, for myself, for others, like. I want to learn because I've been looking at, all right, what are the qualifications for as an editor out in like the field, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have a LinkedIn profile and I have on there that I'm a video editor. Yeah. And I just scroll through jobs every now and then just to kind of see what's out there. There was a job for the NBA that for the Pacers specifically for like somebody to come in and like record like during games, splice up videos, edit them, make them look all nice. For home games and like some away games. And I'm like, dude, that sounds like so much fun. You get to see all the players. You're on the court recording and stuff. I'm like, okay, so what do I need? I need camera. I need the knowledge of a camera. Luckily for me, I have a cousin who made his career starting like that. Vic. Shout out, bro.
Yeah, that dude's freaking jacked.
Yeah, dude. He's
shredded.
fucking massive.
Yeah.
And then Cole, the guy we talked about earlier, they're really great when it comes to like camera stuff. So I sent Vic a picture of a camera. I'm like, hey, I want this one. I already looked into it. I know I want it, but can you take the extra look for me? Because I know he knows way more than I do. So I want that. And through these jobs posting, I found out that like 90% of jobs out there want you to be proficient in like Adobe software. So like Premiere Pro, Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, stuff like that. So, all right, so how much is that? Right? So I looked at it. For a student, it's like $20 a month. If you're not a student, it's like $55 a month.
So still nothing.
Dude, nothing. So I'm like, okay, great. Like the program I use now is perfect, you know? But if I'm trying to get hired on, I have to have proficiency in these other things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, now I'm literally just going to budget out my next paycheck, budget it out, and bam, I got it.
Yeah.
And then budget out X amount of money for a course on like Skillshare or all these other websites that offer it. Bam, just sit down, learn the course, you know?
Yeah.
Because nobody wants a degree. Nobody cares about the degree.
Dude.
And that's as long as you have a body of work that shows that you know what you're doing and you say you're proficient in this, they're like, bet, here's all this, do it.
Or it's like,
you know?
hey, what value can you bring to me?
Yeah,
How can you make this better?
Yeah.
And if you don't have an answer, next.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not, it's not a charity. It's just, no one owes you anything. People get out there and get their degree or whatever, and they think someone owes them a job.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Like something I'd love to do is edit for like an upcoming YouTuber and also a YouTuber that's already kind of made it, you know?
So do you almost want to be the guy behind the scenes doing all of it? Not necessarily the face?
I've always thought myself of that way, and I tend to thrive more in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
But for the podcast, I want us to be the face of it.
Yeah.
I want to bring on friends like you to come on and like promote your business, promote whatever you got on, promote
cool.
like your message that you have, or just to like hang out and just chill out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as this, I want to be the face.
Yeah.
But I also don't mind being like the background for somebody else to be like, yo, like you just give me all your work. I'll do it for you. You just literally record. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll send you like a couple revisions or a couple edits. You look at them. You give me some notes. I got you. I'll edit them, do all that stuff.
This could be an offer. Literally, there's a bunch. I remember I might have said something to you about like maybe a month or two ago about it. There's so many gyms around here, right? To where it's like, I don't know if you told him about it, but it's like you literally go around and every gym has a personal trainer, right? And to where it's like, how many of those personal trainers would love to have videos of themselves on social media
training somebody,
but they training some, and it's like, so pretty much it's like, hey, are there any trainers around? Boy, you talk to them, hey man, I'd love to be able to shoot content for you. You don't even have to do anything. I'll literally make the entire social media page. You'll be the face of it. You don't pay me anything until you start getting more clients, and the only thing I really ask is you maybe like 5% of each client that you client that you bring on, you get 5% of that, and that's the only thing I ask. And if I don't provide value, fire me.
And it's not even like videoing them of training their clients. Like some of them like will probably jack the shit and then want like their own videos, personal videos.
Dude, it's a numbers game. You do that to 100 people. How many do you think personal trainers and freaking people love to look at themselves flexing, right? They're all going to like a lot of the take rate is going to be high, and a lot of them are going to be like, dude, like you have to provide so much value to where it's like they're like, of course. Like I'm like, dude, you don't pay me anything up front, and then if it is successful, this is what, and then here's the arrangement. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like right then. So you figure out, all right, how many clients do I need to be able to? I was like, all right, I need 20 clients to be able to make it what I'm doing at the warehouse. Fucking couple months, boom, live my dream life.
Yeah, I mean, already.
You're not that far.
Yeah, dude, I've already thought about the number that I need to hit and ways of getting there, which we can talk about after the podcast with you and Eric and all that stuff. But I've already thought about those numbers, and I'm like, all right, I need to make X amount of money a month to be able to like quit my job and do this freelance editing full time. You know,
dude,
because editing is
huge,
rough.
right?
It's rough.
But, yeah.
And a lot of people have no patience for it, you know.
Fuck that.
They'll
I would
have a
never do
vision
that
of how to
shit.
do it.
I'm one of those people. I would never do that shit. You pay me $80 an hour, I ain't doing it. don't, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, because like one thing I feel like I'm pretty good at is when somebody says, I want this thing to look a certain way, and they kind of tell me how they want it to look, I feel like I can transfer it pretty well.
Yeah.
I've done it pretty well with my wife where she's like, oh, do this one way, or like edit this video this other way. And I feel like I, for the most part, get it done pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so obviously it comes down to just like learning how to do it. And I'm going to make a short video, make it interesting. And for one of my class, we have to interview somebody that's already in the field we want and just have a couple questions for them, right?
Yeah.
Logan Paul is editor, who also has done edits for Mr. Beast. It's Hillard, right? Is that his name, Hillard?
Hillard Smith.
Yeah, Hillard Smith. He recently starting a podcast with Justin Bieber's music video editor, right?
That's gold.
Yeah, bro. It's nice.
Yeah.
And so with their podcast, it's brought up a lot of inspiration. So I'm going to find a way to get into Hillard's DMs, messages, whatever. See if I can set up like a one-on-one meeting for the school thing, but also to be like, hey, I'm new. This is what I've done. This is the vision I have. Like, so, this is kind of what I don't know how much I can provide to him right now because I don't know much, but.
You're saying the school, you said school thing.
Yeah, because I'm in, so I go.
Oh, that you're in school for it?
Yeah, like at IUPUI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many followers does this guy have? You have a shit ton of followers?
Can you check real quick on IG? Yeah. He's probably got like, I don't think he's got 1 million, but pretty close.
Well, I guess it's kind of thinking of like how many other people have that idea that you have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, how can I do it? And he's verbally said on the podcast ways to get his attention, but then how many other people are going to do that, right?
It's kind of like you're trying to go from like zero to the big leagues.
Yeah, but I mean, if
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to shoot you. I'm saying like I bet there's someone like local who's like already doing it, who's like really like of like 5 years ahead of you. Because it's almost like how like this guy's 5 years ahead of me. That's almost like me going to like fucking a dude right below Hormozy who's already doing like fucking 80 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just like they have so many messages that's like, yeah, this guy wants it, but like so many people want it.
Right.
Like,
but the thing is, I feel like I'm pretty level-headed about most things in my life to where I'm sending it to him and I'm expecting nothing. I'm expecting to get radio silence, you know?
Yeah.
So that way I'm like, cool, because, dude, how many messages does this dude get? And how many people? I'm literally just starting. You know, like I know how to edit in DaVinci. I'm really good at podcasts. I'm really good at reels. That's super niche. You know what I mean?
There's there's so many, like, it's like whenever you're that big, it's like your time is so valuable that it's like, dude, I wonder if they're even checking their DMs. But I get what you're saying, to where it's like you might as well try.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well.
Yeah, and I mean,
try,
like I said, I got I have friends I can reach out to, like my cousin and Nicole. And Cole would be easier just because he lives only an hour away, and I can kind of like tag along and help him out. And he can teach me, and like he's real kind, so I'm sure he'd help out. But like there's those steps that I've already kind of like within these past couple days. Yesterday I had like a huge day of like, all right, I'm doing this, I'm researching the camera, I'm gonna buy it later tonight, hopefully comes in tomorrow, if not Saturday, and then Monday rolls around and I'm on there. You know, I'm recording, I'm doing my thing, I'm trying little different things out, seeing how to make it work.
Yeah.
Step by step process, bro.
Yeah. I'm trying to access the questions on here, but I think it only lets me see the responses through my phone.
Here, hold this. I'll try.
That's crazy. I didn't know, because I called you yesterday and you said that you were.
Yeah, I was trying not to let the cat out of the bag, but you're good at getting shit out of me. So.
Yeah, I mean, bro, all I asked was like, oh, was it like a big purchase? And you're like, yeah. It wasn't that hard.
That's funny.
That's exciting. So it was that camera that you had kind of showed me when I got here?
Yeah, it's really good camera, and it's less than $1,000, like $700. plus like an SD card, some backup batteries, and like some other things, it'll come out to under $1,000, and it's like a super high quality camera. And like after we get that and it starts rolling, we can start implementing it into the podcast, level up the podcast quality.
That would be nice because we literally just had like a mishap right here.
Yeah. And some people might be like, "Dang, $1,000 for a camera? Why do you do that?" Bro, that's probably the same motherfucker who spent $20,000 on 1 year in college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like 20,000. Yeah. Dude, you're spending, you know, like
cameras can go up to like 10,000. That's
dude,
insane.
$1,000, like, all right, so $1,000. It's like people find that crazy of like, you're gonna pay someone $1,000 to learn from them, bro. Like, you paid $160,000 to freaking listen to these professors talk about whatever the hell they're talking about, bro. My first year, I was taking American history, and I was an exercise science degree. The hell you say? What the hell are you talking about?
You take classes that have nothing correlated.
No.
So this will do. I'll take my phone, and then we'll just cut to that for the rest of the video.
Okay, that's works.
Like, dude, that's like, man, like reinvesting in yourself just constantly.
And
like, it's
some
just
people
like,
don't understand that. Some people literally just see like, oh, college is the only way. Like, there's other alternatives that people like. As long as you're providing the value and like that's worth what you're charging, like you're gonna be able to sell.
Yeah. And your value of money of what you think a lot of money is. Like, dude, $1,000 is nothing. Like, it
literally isn't. I mean,
it's not.
10 years ago I thought that was a lot of money, but like now it's like, bro, $1,000. It'd be nice to have. Like, anybody.
And so then it's like there's level, right? It's like $100,000 is nothing to somebody. You know what I'm saying? There's just so many levels to where it's like, yeah, it's like spending $10,000 on yourself of like learning from people is just like, oh my god, I can't believe you'd spend that much money.
Yeah, especially when those 10,000 can turn around to like 100,000.
Why everyone's going to get scammed at college? You know what I'm saying?
Not
like,
all colleges. If you're gonna be a doctor, please go to college. I'm not gonna go to you unless you have a degree.
But I've seen those TikTok videos where people go around asking how much debt doctors are in or like in their doctor program. Bro, some people are like $500K. I'm like. And they're like, no way paying it off.
Dude, and they're only making like $200K. Like I say,
but we still need doctors out there, bro.
You say what?
So we still need doctors out there, bro.
Oh, for sure, so many doctors. But I'm saying, like, dude, like if you just get really good at sales or marketing, you'll make $200K.
Facts.
If you took 12 years and you said, I'm only gonna do sales, you're making way more than $200K.
Yeah, dude.
Way more than $200K.
Yeah.
And it's like 12 years. God, that's so long, bro. I'd be 36.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang, like.
Yeah. All right. So instead of doing Would You Rathers, we're trying to include some more like engagement from our followers. So I put out a poll on Instagram. Well, not a poll, but just asking questions for the guests. So if you stay to this long, it's like a little treat for the people who stay this long. Please go out to the next whenever we post up on our Instagram and our personals, and please ask questions. So for right now, I won't mention names. So the first question we have on our podcast that came out is, what's your favorite pastime when you're not in the shop? Something that's like, I've been stressed. I need to take something out of my mind. Just like relax.
How do I de-stress?
Or just your favorite pastime. Like, what do you like doing when you're not at the shop working? You're like working at home. Stay hard. There's got to be something, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, literally how I live, like...
Even if it's something simple, like
dude, how I live my life, like,
chilling.
I structure my life to where I love my life.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Like,
I like that answer.
To where it's like, people say, this was my video last night. Hey, everyone says, I need a fucking mental health day. You just hate your life. Like, that's why, hey, you don't maybe hate your life. You're not happy with exactly how you live your life.
Yeah.
I fucking love going into my shop. I love it. Like, because it's like, trying to figure out how to get busy and how to get packed. That's what I do for fun. And then so whenever I'm not working, what do? I go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then I go home. And it's like, wow, that life sucks. Good thing you're not living it. Like, if you don't, like, you know, like if someone sounds like that life sucks and they're like, no way, that's fun. It's fun. I love it. I love it. And it's like tomorrow night, I'll be working 17 hours. And because I'll be open until 11 o'clock for the Friday night game. Love it. Yeah. I love it. It's like, I'm happy to get up at 4:30 tomorrow to go work out. So then I can work all day.
Nice.
And it's like, it's not work for me. Like, and I'm off on Sundays. Like, I structure my life to where I have a day to where it's like, if I need to do stuff, cool. And so it's like, but that's not a mental health day for me. That's just like, I believe in like, I believe you should. Like, dude, Sundays I don't do anything.
Yeah.
And so it's like Monday through Saturday, I just work 80 hours, 70 to 80 hours. So I just work all day. And then Sunday, I just don't do anything. And so this is what I do to really relax. So Sundays, I love going out to eat to breakfast, whether it's with somebody or if it's just by myself. Reading for like an hour or two. I live a boring life, bro. And then like I live in Zionsville, so it's like there's this Brick Street. It's real peaceful. Walk down there on Brick Street, and there's a nice coffee shop. I just chill in the coffee shop outside. I go home. I just hang out, dude.
Nice.
It's my life.
I like it.
And so that's my favorite pastime.
I like it. Okay, next question. Huh? Well, these are. Yeah. I mean, you can answer if you want, but I took this more as guests. Yeah, trying to see a spotlight, bro. Damn, it's all about you, bro.
A little ego popped out there.
I
Pablo.
know, right?
No, I'm just kidding.
He's like, "What about me?" Okay, so next question: who's your best friend?
Who's my best friend? Yeah, maybe I should just say someone else then. Well, so it's like the past year and a half or so, like Eric, to where, I mean, he works at Chick-fil-A right now, but like we've gotten pretty close the last like year and a half or so. We've just been like, we both went through some, like he's been going through some crazy stuff, and then also just like all this of like all the shit that like I went through last year, just like, I don't know if my business is gonna fail or not, and so just like kind of like through that, that's been kind of cool to where yeah, I mean, like I've never had like a best friend legitimately, to where it's like I've always kind of just like, I've had like friends, but I never had like a real good friend, and he would probably be like my first like real like good friend.
Nice.
And so that's pretty cool. Of course you would ask that, because talking about ego, bro, this guy, bro. Yeah. You said he. Well, but no, seriously, he's like me and him. We want to start a podcast in October.
Yeah.
Because we have really good back and forth.
Back and
forth, bro. I can't talk. And so we have really good conversations. Because kind of like we're kind of like we think very differently about things, but like we agree on a lot of shit too. Mm-hmm. Like if we start talking about like something politically, like we think very differently. Like but yet it's like we both have very good points, and we don't get emotionally like involved with it, to where it's like, I mean, maybe we both get kind of fired up, but we're not like mad at each other, and we can have a really good conversation, to where it's like, because like, I mean, like I'm not like far right, I'm not far left, I lean right, and so but I think he leans left. He definitely leans left, I lean right. So where like he'll say something, I'm like, that's a pretty good point, and I'm like, I would have never thought like about that
situation,
and then I'll say something, I can tell in his head he's like, that's a very good point. Like, and so it's like we have really good back and forth, and shit. I think that's cool that like we can do that. And so like he's grown a lot last year and a half. Mm-hmm. I've grown a lot last year and a half, and we've kind of seen each other through that. And so I think that's like we've both been through hard stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, we live in the same apartment, so we kind of like same apartment complex. Yeah, I've never had a roommate. I don't.
You're
want
like
one.
Nah. You're like not about.
No, I need my time. But yeah, no. So I would probably say Eric.
Nice. Well, for this first edition, those are the only questions we had.
No worries, man.
But next time, hopefully, there's more.
You got any questions?
Not as of now. He doesn't care about you guys. Is what he's trying to say. No. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. But yeah, man. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, glad it came on, man. It was,
love to have you on again.
Dude,
I want you to come back whenever you want. So,
dude, yeah, whenever you guys want me on, or if you can be on whenever. It's I enjoy talking about it. I just enjoy having a conversation towards it's just good. Not a lot of people have like a thought-provoking like conversation, and it's good for like an hour just to be able to talk about good stuff. You know?
Yeah. Well, whenever you're like, dude, I got something to say, I got to come on the podcast. Just let him know. Let me know. We'll get you on.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's I appreciate it. It's always I think it's cool that you guys have just been consistent for a year, because it's like, that's just awesome. Like, it's like a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't make it this far. Yeah. So you're already in like the 0.1% or whatever who you like made it a year. And so that's dope. Everyone wants to like talk about it, but you guys are like actually executing, which is like really cool. So cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Appreciate that. It means a lot coming from somebody like you.
Oh, appreciate it.
Dude. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.